Alright, this is the first edition of Bdair Ball meets Sempre Milan. If you haven't seen me on any of the other Sempre Milan podcasts, I am Ahmed Bdair. I have my own channel called Bdair Ball if you want to go subscribe to that. But on this channel, I'll be doing a post-match reaction as much as I can. And if I have any other topics to talk about, then I'll be doing that as well. Just a quick reaction. I mean, I just watched the Salzburg Milan game away from home, first match week of the Champions League, and 1-1 draw, as you probably know if you're watching the channel anyway. 1-1 draw with Salzburg scoring after Noah Okafor nutmegged Kalulu and then nutmegged Manyan to score. They opened the scoring, and then we responded in the 40th minute right before the half with a beautiful counterattack. Started from De Ketelaere, played it to Benasser, who ran most of the length of the field, played it to Leao, who squared it for Salamakers, took a touch, nice finish. Overall, I think a draw was a fair result. That's as best as we could have hoped for, honestly. We didn't create much. They had one other big chance that their Brazilian striker Fernando skied. And other than that, we hit the post right at the end of the game through a deflection. But I think neither team deserved more than a point. Ultimately, it's like a perfectly okay point. These guys haven't lost at home in a year and a half, including holding Bayern Munich in last year's round of 16 to a 1-1 draw, which Bayern had to score in the last few minutes to secure that. So it's clearly a hard place to go. We didn't play especially well. I think the match intensity kind of was a little bit too much for us after how big the derby was, how much pressure there was on that game, and how intense it was. It's a complete bloodbath. And to come after that, play basically the same lineup except for Alexis coming on for Messias, play the same lineup basically, facing the team with, I think, the lowest average age in the competition at 23 years old for Salzburg. Like, these dudes were pedal to the metal, coming right at us. They had no fear, and we controlled possession for the most part, but they were very, very, very intense, very intensely pressing, very intense, winning the ball, battling for second balls, everything like that. Like, they really gave us a run for our money, and I don't think ultimately we could handle it. And that's why we saw early subs. We saw Benasser, who usually would have played the 90, he came off at the 57th minute. Same for Calabria, same for Giroud, who played two back-to-back 90s, despite admitting that he got tired against Bologna. He had to play again against Inter, and this time he played just like 57 minutes. Origi came on for him, Brahim on for De Ketelaere, who, other than like the nice pass in the build-up to the goal, didn't really assert himself. Messias came on for Salamakers, who I thought was the man of the match, best performer. Even outside the goal, he was really lively, good defensively, good offensively, licked the ball up, and actually tried shit, which he sometimes doesn't do. Almost all the subs were bad, honestly. Origi, bad. Dest came on for Calabria, he was bad. I think he completed like 65% of his passes. Bad. One of his one of his 4 duels, bad. Brahim was bad again. Struggled with the physicality of the game, which, I mean, is just something we come to expect of him at this point. Messias had one of the worst cameos I can honestly remember. I thought the only sub who actually did well was Pobega, who came on, and I know a lot of people were frustrated by the long shots he took, but other than that, I thought he was perfectly fine. He asserted himself into the game, and he was perfectly fine. I just think, so going on, like, at this point, I think the fatigue is an issue, and I think it's an explanation more than an excuse for this game. But going forward, like, at the end of the day, I actually did the math. Like, over the next 67 days, we have 15 games, which comes out to a game every 4 days, basically, right? Like, the bench is going to have to be trusted, whether you like these guys or not. Like, regardless of your opinions on Dest, on Origi, on Pobega, on Vranks, on all these, on Rebic, it doesn't, Kjaer, all these guys, it doesn't actually matter what your opinion on them is. At the end, like, they are going to have to be utilized. Otherwise, we risk the squad breaking down and injuries. And look, this is something I'm probably going to end up saying a lot. At the end of the day, no one result is worth a 4-month injury. Like, because that reverberates across the entire season, and that hurts a whole bunch of other games. Like, no one result is worth Leao or Teo or Giroud or Tonali or Benasser, any of these guys getting hurt. Like, we can sacrifice I'll take a draw any day over any of those guys getting hurt. So the bench guys have to be relied on. And, well, we go on to Sampdoria then.